client that just hired us lost his wife years ago and is collecting the CPP survivor benefit. Now, he came to us and hired us to put together a financial retirement plan for him. And he said, Adam, based on the fact that I'm taking survivor benefit, I've paid into CPP, I'm not working anymore. He's 58 years old. His assumption was I need to start CPP at 60 because I have non-contributory years, my maximum amounts and all of that. And my first gut was, I don't think that's the case. So let's actually run the numbers and figure out what makes the most sense for you. And this is very important. You may not have survivor benefit. You might be thinking, Adam, this video is not for me. And it is. If you are going to collect CPP at any point in your life, which is 99.9% of Canadians, this video is for you because it talks about the intricacies and the numbers in CPP and how complicated it can be and how it matters to you. It matters to each and every one of us that collects CPP. There's a lot that goes into the CPP, and unfortunately, the Canadian pension plan doesn't have a calculator out there. Service Canada, the government of Canada, there's no such thing as a calculator where we can go in and do these. And I don't know why. It's very frustrating. Fortunately, Doug Runchy, who used to work for CPP, understands it and has built these calculators, offers this service. Now, Doug's not going to be around forever. So hopefully the government of Canada and CRA gets their act together and gets a calculator out for everyone to use. But for now, we have to lean on Doug. And so Doug put these numbers together. We're going to share them. I've seen these numbers for the last 20 years. This calculation to me was even mind-blowing. So it was great to go through with a client. We're going to save them a whole ton of money and give them proper direction going forward. So again, our client is 58 years old and he's collecting a survivor benefit of $553 every single month. That's going to be increased with inflation, all of that. So what Doug does is he grabs all the client's information, survivor benefit, he's paid into CPP, age, all of this kind of stuff. So step one that Doug walks through is put survivor benefit aside. How much CPP are you going to collect, client, at age 60, 65, 70? So what is this number that you're going to collect? So when Doug ran the numbers, he determined that if the client started CPP at 60, his calculated retirement pension was $1,263, so close to maximum amount. And because he's taken it early, there's a reduction of 36%. So the actual amount the client would receive was $808.95. If the client waited to 65, you can see his calculated retirement pension actually drops by about $130 every single month. So $1,133. But because he would be taken at 65, he's going to get that full amount. It's not reduced. Now, if the client waits till 70, it's based off the same retirement pension, that 1133, but it's increased by 42% because he's bumped it all the way to 70, that 0.7% increase every month, and the client would receive $1,610. So again, there has been, because he has more non-contributory years between 60 and 65, you can see that monthly benefit decreases by about $130 a month. So most clients will look at that, and again, put pension survivor benefit aside, people will look at that and say, well, I need to start at 60 because I don't want it reduced. For this client, again, survivor benefit, let's jump into step two of the process. So step two looks at the CPP survivor benefit pension will be combined. So looking at the survivor benefit combined with his regular CPP, like there's a combination of the two. And again, the calculation is very complicated, but here's how it rolls out for the client. So at age 60, the monthly CPP retirement pension would be $904, and the survivor benefit would drop. So when you start your CPP, survivor benefit drops. It would drop from $553 down to $289, giving a total benefit of $1,193. At 65, client will get that full 1133 survivor CPP benefit, and that survivor will drop a little bit, so $201.24. But again, from now until age 65, the client's collecting $553 of survivor benefit. So that has to be factored in here as well, which you'll see here down the road. So at age 65, client would receive a full $1,335. And then at age 70, going to collect his regular CPP, $1,610, plus that survivor benefit, which stays the same 65 onwards of $201.24 for a total of $1,811. So obviously that's the bigger amount, but if we wait till 70, obviously there's many years, 12 years for this client, that he's collected a smaller amount. So when's that break-even point? What's the timing behind it? How does this all work? Two quick numbers to note here is if the client waits till 70, the survivor benefit will go from $553. At 65, it'll drop slightly to $537. Again, an internal calculation that happens with survivor benefit. So a slight drop, not much. The other thing to note is if the client proceeded with taking his CPP at 60 and collected the CPP with a survivor benefit, again, it was $1,193, at age 65, it would drop down to $1,047. So there would be a reduction. So from 60 to 65, a little bit more. At 65 onwards, it would be reduced. So something else to consider as part of the overall equation. So what Doug then does is creating a spreadsheet, which I'll show here in a second, but he also outlines for the client 3 options. So option 1, I'm going to read off the sheet here. Apply for your CPP retirement pension at age 60 and receive a combined benefit of $1,193 until age 65, at which time it'll be recalculated down to $1,047. The second option is apply for CPP retirement pension at 65 and receive the benefits of $1,335. In between ages 60 and 65, you would continue to receive your survivor pension of $553. This is your best choice if you live past age 76, but not past age 78. That first option gave you the best option if you only live till 76. Option 2, which is going for it at 65, is 76 to 78. The third option is apply for your CPP retirement pension at age 70, so defer it till 70, and receive the combined benefit of $1,811. In between ages 60 and 65, going to collect that full $553. From 65 to 70, it's going to be reduced slightly to $537. This is your best choice, he says, if you live until at least age 79, which, as we know, because we did a video with an actuary not too long ago here, average life expectancy for this client would be around age 86 to 87 here in Canada. So if we base it off of life expectancy, which we have to use kind of assumptions and statistics and all of that, the client would be best to defer taking his CPP all the way to 70. And so Doug does a very complex breakdown. And as you can see by the Excel spreadsheet here, he summarizes in like where these break even, and he highlights like each age where it would make the most sense. So obviously from age 61 down to 76, for the client to take his own CPP at age 60 would make the most sense. So if you had health issues, shortened life expectancy, that would be the best decision. Age 65 probably isn't the best decision because there's only 2 years where it's most beneficial, and that's 77 and 78. So the chances of kind of guessing that are really bad. But again, the likelihood of 79 onwards is very high if there's no health issues, whatnot for the client. And basically waiting until 70 is beneficial every year from 79 onwards. So here's a client that came to us that said, look, I need to take CPP at 60 because of the maximum amounts I'm going to get and all the calculation. But the reality is the numbers are very different. So for this client, we're mapping out their plan. We're going to put a few $100,000 back in his pocket because of this. And not only are we delaying that CPP now, that allows us to collect, that survivor benefit of $553, but now we can actually draw down registered accounts quicker. We can actually create more tax strategy within his overall plan. And again, it's all going to be dependent for you as well on what types of accounts you have, RSP, TFSA, non-reg, how much in each account, pension plan. Like there's a lot of moving parts here. This calculation is just a piece of the pie. But it's a big piece as far as we need to get this right. We need to understand the numbers and the benefits and how this all works so that we can run the plan with him taking it at 60, 65, 70, somewhere in between, integrate the rest of his cash flow and income options, and then map out a plan going forward and break that down with him and really show him. Again, maybe the integration of other assets just don't work properly and we have to take his CPP earlier just to get cash flow. For this client, not the case, but maybe for you it is. So again, step 1, figure out what your actual CPP number is going to be. Whether you have survivor benefit, child rearing years, or nothing at all, work through a calculator. If you don't have any child rearing years, CPP disability, or survivor benefits, you can use the calculator at cppcalculator.com. We'll link that below. Use that calculator. It's going to give you a very accurate number on different benefits at different ages and break-even points and all that. It's a great calculator. Doug actually put that together. Now, if it's more complicated, you kind of check one of those 3 boxes I mentioned, then you want to loop in with Doug and have this done. Like, it's a great printout. Again, we've shared a lot of the screenshots here. He prints it out. It's really nice. He sends this over to you, a nice summary. It's very clear. Client was very impressed. And we've done this for a few clients over the years where these complicated situations come in. And every single time, A, the calculations come back not as the client expected, and B, the quick turnaround, the level of service that Doug gives is great. He doesn't pay me anything for this. He does a great service, and you need to lean into him while it's available. Once Doug stops doing this, we'll have to figure out something else. But for now, we have Doug, so lean into him if you have a complicated situation like this. So again, CPP, there's more to it than a lot of you understand. So make sure you understand it, dig into the numbers. We'll see you in the next video.